right, everybody, on to our next catching up the shop task. This pile of motors here need to be pulled out of their housing. We got a decent amount of air conditioner motors, but my first focus is going to be on these squirrel cages out of the furnaces. If you look closely, you can see I've pulled the bolts that hold it to the squirrel cage out, but a lot of these, more than normal actually, those little 1/4 inch guys don't want to turn on a whole bunch of these. And so the way to get around that when you can't get those out, and of course you can flip them over and pull the other bolt that holds that central piece and slide the whole thing out, but I've had a lot of trouble with that in the past too, with these things being rusted and old and everything. So I just hit those with a grinder, and once the tops are ground off, you can get the motor out off of its own core. So we're going to hit these with a grinder right now, and then maybe we'll get to the air conditioner motors in the pile after I knock out these squirrel cages. Ground through all the ones that we can. We actually got a few like this one that really, they don't have the same bolts coming through. It's hard to see probably, but those little like divots there, the iron on the motor casing is actually sort of bent in a little, and that's sort of what holds it in place instead of screws. Those ones are a little more of a pain in the ass to get out. You can see I've ground the screws, or really they're long bolts, off. This is another one that is sort of bent to hold it in. The only way I know how to get those types out is just by hammering the hell out of them. So those are probably going to sit here for a while before I get to them. But all these other ones that I've ground out, we're going to go ahead now and see if we can hammer them out of their housing. tore through everything except these last 4 that will have to be hammered out. That's a nice little pile of motors. About half of those were already there. But say we pulled at least 20 out, $5 a piece. Took less than an hour. Not too shabby there either.